Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leos. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guides, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Leo collective as we start a brand new calendar year? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in early January 2025. What is the vibe? What is the energy from my good friends? Please get this first card popping nice and quick. I mean, yeah, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, interesting. So I did get this card in the Aries reading as well. So there's been a lot of shuffling that's gone on between then and now. So this must be a fire sign thing. This card has a lot of complexity to it, and I'm going to explain it the exact same way. Like, it seems very simple, but there's a lot going on underneath the surface. So there's a certain complexity, especially to this card. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card, shall we? So we have this lovely lady, looks like she's sitting in the middle of a room. She's next to an orange cat. She's covered in a blanket. There's little butterflies flying out of a cage there, and the cage is open. So there's like little undertones of freedom and liberty, stuff like that. But there's a chessboard, there's chess pieces, there's a lot of strategy here. So in symbolism, when we see so much densely packed symbolism in one card, it's like, okay, simple, but not. So for a lot of Leos, there could be various situations where it's like, all right, well, from an outside perspective or from someone else's point of view, it might be a no-brainer, it might be extremely simple, but there's more going on underneath the surface. Either that or something could be building up that you don't quite see just yet. I also feel like this is a big card of planning and strategy, especially with the chessboard. So whether it's something that you need to plan a little bit more, don't be super, whimsy about it. Don't be nonchalant. It's like you need to be structured. You need to plan it out. I don't know why that's showing up. Either that or someone else might be in that mode. But we're just going to leave her right there. Complexity is the name of the game. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time. Yeah, the cards are already trying to jump out of my hands. And while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was a little choppy, which was peculiar because I feel like for the fire signs in total, there was a pretty good energy coming. But for the Leo reading, it was titled A Big Problem. So if a problem or situation did pop up, I hope it's something you were able to solve quick. I hope it wasn't something too abrasive, but we're going to see what energy shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the lovely Leos in early January 2025. What is happening for my good friends? Let's get them out here. What is going on for the Leos? Thank you. How are we going to start this here? Okay. So we do have the 4 of Pentacles in position number 1. That is not my most optimal card to start a reading off with, but we will take it. There are some positives that we can pull from the 4 of Pentacles. That's one thing I will say. Because if you watch my readings, you know I say every card has a duality to it, right? They all have challenges. They all have positives. Let's get a couple more here. What is happening? Okay, so 8 of Swords. So this energy is pretty wound tight, Leo. This is pretty wound tight. That is very much on edge. Let's get one more out here and we'll piece it together. Okay. All right. So 2 cards at once. So we do have the Knight of Cups right here on the back end. We will take that, but you have a bonus, which is also a bit of a challenging card. And we'll see what's up. Again, this could be someone else's energy. It could be yours, but we do have the 10 of Swords as a bonus. So nothing to get too nervous about, and we will talk about it. So there's a lot of internal energy showing up for you this week, Leo. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, and I know I was commenting as we were going through, but the elemental makeup here, I feel like most of it is internal stuff. So whether it's thoughts or emotions and feelings, because notice, yeah, there is a pretty even distribution. We do have earth, we have this strong air energy, we have water, and then we have the Ten of Swords, which really piles onto the air. Now, the realm of air is thought-based, it's the mind, it's very logical, it's plan-based, and it could be communication. Cups, obviously the realm of love, romance, emotion, feeling, creativity. So it's like we have the heart and mind, and then this earthy energy is grounding it down in front. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out, because again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of layers here, so only take what's yours. But position number one, we're starting with the Four of Pentacles. Now, we could separate this in regards to business and work or career-based things or personal, because I feel like when it comes to personal things, that's where this Four of Pentacles could be a little rough and challenging. And it could most definitely be a warning. But as far as money goes, the positives of this card, this is a fantastic energy about saving. So some Leos, I mean, this card could be showing up because you're saving up for a big purchase, or you're being careful with your money, or it's not an energy of just being willy-nilly with your pentacles. So whether you're saving, whether you're stacking, it's like I'm being very strict about the cost of this. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. And again, for a lot of you, it could be something dealing with a large purchase when I see this card, and it could be nice. But the overall energy of the Four of Pentacles, very, very grounded, not budging. It could be extremely stubborn. So whether it's a situation you've been dealing with for quite a while, a very stubborn individual that you're dealing with when this card is here, in the most challenging aspects of the Four of Pentacles, it could represent someone that's a little possessive. It could represent jealousy. It could just be quite problematic because it's gunking up the work. So we're going to have to see how it all plays. The one good thing I like, though, is we start with this inflexible energy in the front. By the time we get back here to the Knight of Cups, things are starting to flow. So we do have a bit of a silver lining. Now we'll get this one tucked right in here. So we'll see whether that is what was showing up last week or a different situation. But in the center, we do have the Eight of Swords. So we see this lady in there. She is blindfolded, she's hoodwinked, and she is surrounded by the Eight Swords. Now, the challenges of this card, it could represent anxiety, nervousness, somebody that's overthinking things. So there might be certain situations that are stuck on repeat in your mind that you're thinking about quite a bit. Either that or someone else you're connected to is in that mode where it's like, I'm thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and I can't stop for whatever reason. This card could represent someone feeling like they're cornered. They could represent someone feeling trapped. So whether it is trapped in one's own mind, figuratively or literally, that's what this card could be. But there's some really good positives here too. First off, the fact that this person is blindfolded and they can easily break out of this sword circle that they're in does tell me that this is a fast-moving energy. So complete opposite to what we have here, where this one's long-lasting. This one, it's like, all right, it pops up, then it goes away. It's like a problem, solution, boom. It moves through really quick. Okay, so this could be something being resolved. It could be mysterious too, especially since this person is blindfolded and there's something they can't see. So for some Leos, there might be some sort of aspect of a situation where it's like it hasn't surfaced yet. So we will see. But I do like that it's a fast-moving type of energy, and it could really lend to this energy in the front where it's like, it seems very stubborn, but actually it can be solved. Now, moving to the very back end, we have a beautiful card. We have the Knight of Cups. Now, some of you might be connected to a water sign when this card is here. Now, all knights represent action. They represent movement. They are also messengers, so they could be a lot of chit-chat, a lot of talking, a lot of speaking, or emotional offers, especially with all the swords around. So there is an underlying energy of communication showing up in this spread. The Knight of Cups, if it is a person, very smooth, silky, easy-flowing, easy-going type of energy, Prince Charming type of energy. And all in all, I feel like this is positive, whether we're speaking about talking or action, and it's a deep, deep, intense card of love. So that's why he shows up so much in love readings. Now, when we get to the challenge of the Knight of Cups, all those good things I was just describing could most definitely flip in reverse. It could be someone that's emotionally up and down, emotionally volatile, emotionally manipulative, things like that. But we're not going to pound that message too much because I feel like this could be the bright spot of the reading, but we'll just have to see when we clarify it. I mean, unless you're just connected to a water sign. Now, on the very back end, the bonus card, Ten of Swords, if you watch tarot, you know that's not the easiest. It's a card that could represent endings, it could represent pain, anxiety, all that stuff we were already talking about. So it is a challenge. So I'm not sure if some of you Leos out there are dealing with a chapter closing and might not be as easy as you thought it would be. That could be very possible when this card is here. But I feel like it's an underlying energy compared to all this, where it's like, all right, do we have to, or do I have to deal with this? But I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. See what's happening for the lovely Leos. What is going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get that Four of Pentacles going. Why is it here? What is this Four of Pentacles about? All right, there could be a situation or a person that you need to be very cautious about or cautious with. Now, for some of you, your guard might already be up in that respect. But when I see the Seven of Swords, to me, it could be a few different things. If we are talking about a very specific individual or person, it's like, okay, you need to handle this with care. You need to be very cautious when dealing with this individual. I don't want to simply just say that's the whole entire message, because I am feeling other things. The Seven of Swords has that mystery tied to it. Again, more this sword energy, a lot of thinking, a lot of stress. So for a lot of Leos, if you have been under a lot of mental stress with any situation, Spirit might want you to try to blow off steam if possible, whether it's for physical activity, creativity, you name it. But the Seven of Swords, I mean, it is an untrustworthy type of card. In its worst sense, it represents liars. It represents people that aren't really telling the truth. It represents thieves. Now, I don't want to go scorched earth. I don't want to go worst case scenario. In its positive sense, it could just represent something you don't see. It could just represent something that hasn't surfaced yet. So yeah, when I see this Four of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords, it's like, okay, either there is something or someone, whether it's a situation or a person, that you need to be very, very cautious with. So this could be a very important or serious warning here in the front end. Either that, or it could just be a problem that pops up out of nowhere, right? Like, so a problem or a situation where it's like, okay, where did this come from? And just, it pops up out of the blue. So let's keep moving, because again, for some of you, this could be something that's already in the past. That doesn't mean that you're all dealing with this right this second. But let's keep moving, because whatever this energy is, if it happened in the past, it could be affecting the vibe this week for one reason or another. But let's see what the Eight of Swords has. Because as I mentioned, I feel like this energy in the front is the most difficult. Let's see how it loosens up, hopefully. But why is the Eight of Swords here? Why is it in the mix for Leo? Please. Thank you. Okay. We do have the Five of Wands in reverse underneath the Eight of Swords. And I said it earlier in the reading. It's like, can we just not? Can this just not be a thing for whatever reason? Like, why does this person need to act this way, or why does this situation have to be so difficult? Because it should be easy. I don't know why that energy is coming up. Now, the Eight of Swords with the Five of Wands in reverse could also be like peacekeeping in some sort of odd way. So for some Leos, if it's a group thing, you might be trying to play problem solver. You might be trying to settle things down yourself, where it's like, okay, well, all this stuff is going on. Why do I have to settle it down? Why do I have to solve it? And it's just giving me that vibe, like, can we just not? It doesn't have to be this difficult. It doesn't have to be this hard. That's what I'm intuitively feeling here. Okay, so there could be an individual or a person that's making something more difficult on purpose, where it's like, you could easily not do that thing. The Five of Wands, if it was in the upright, I mean, it's a card of battle, and it's a card of fighting. It's a card of determination, yes. But when it shows up in reverse, it's like, let's not fight about this. Let's just let things calm down, let things settle down. Either that, or it's someone that's like, you know, I'm throwing my hands up here. Okay, like with the Eight of Swords and the Five of Wands, it's like, this is too stressful. I'm not dealing with this situation anymore. I'm throwing my hands up. So, well, let's see how it goes when we get to the Knight of Cups. We'll see how it goes there, because this energy is very contentious in the front end. Let's go. Let's see what the Knight of Cups has to say. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is that Knight here? Why is the Knight of Cups here for Leo, please? What is happening? Thank you. All right, cool. So I do like this energy in the end result. We do have a lot more air showing up because we do have the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, which I always say whenever it shows up in a reading that the Seven of Swords is in, I'm like, okay, this is the antidote to this energy. Like these energies do connect. Now, the Ace of Swords, as with all aces, represents communication. It represents talking, and it's usually very straightforward to the point. And I do feel for a lot of Leos, like you could be very honest and truthful, but not be mean about something. Where it's like, okay, you can call out an issue, you can call out a problem, you can speak about it and call it for what it is, but you don't have to be too aggressive, which I think can be good. I feel like whatever this is in the front, it's something that can be addressed, but it's about how you do it. It's not about what you're addressing, it's how you address it. I feel like that's very important. Now, the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords, this could be a very important or serious talk, which makes sense with what we have here in the front. But remember with the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, it cuts to the heart of everything. This is a card of, no BS. It's seeing things very straightforward. And I feel like it could work in both of these alignments' favors, because up here in the front, this Ace of Swords, it really cuts to the heart of a situation and sees something for what it is. Here in the center, the Ace of Swords would say, you know what? This is too much to deal with, then I will not. That's because the Ace of Swords could cut things away as well. So I feel like either route, there is a resolution. Okay. And listen, a lot of energy is coming through here. But if I were to just put a label on it, this does feel like either a serious or an important talk, which is something I've seen for you in recent weeks as well. Let's go through and do a recap because I'm not a huge fan of this energy I have in the front, but let's go through before we get to the shadow card. Position number one, we're starting here with the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Yikes. I did say there could be a person that you really want to keep an eye on, someone that you need to watch out for because this energy is not the nicest. I did feel like this could be a serious or an important warning, whether it's about a situation or whether it's about a person. Now, it can be a problem that pops up unexpectedly or out of nowhere, or a situation where it's like, all right, where the hell is this coming from? So I'd watch out for that, and especially if there's like a person where you're kind of iffy about them anyway. That's what this is. It's like, I'm iffy about this person. Moving to the center, we have the Eight of Swords with the Five of Wands, and can we just not? Can you just not? Does it have to be this difficult? This is more of an energy of saying, like, you know what, I don't want to feed energy into it anymore. Not necessarily saying I give up, but it's like I can't give energy to a certain situation for whatever reason. It's like it's too hard. It doesn't have to be as hard as it is. Moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Cups with the Ace of Swords in the upright, which does a really good job at solving all this energy. So if you have been having issues, this is great. It's an important or serious talk. It cuts to the heart of things. And I feel like for a lot of Leos in this time, whether they're your issues or somebody else's, I feel like you would have a good way of communicating things where it's like you could speak the truth, say for what it is, but also not hurt a bunch of feelings. Like you could put it in a softer way. So yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Lots of things. I feel like I could keep reading that spread, but let's see what's in the shadows here, my friends. Let's get a good shuffle here. What's in the shadows for the lovely Leos, please? And for some of you, this could just be a lot of outside noise, like outside noise. So watch out for other people pulling into stuff. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get your shadow card out. What is in the shadows for Leo, please? What is in the shadows? Okay, we do have the Death card. Don't get super nervous about that. That's Scorpio energy, and it's a common card to see in the shadows, right? Because Scorpio energy does have that little dark macabre energy to it. And listen, I say that because I have Scorpio placements. But the Death card to me is more of like Phoenix Rising, where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, there could be certain chapters closing for some Leos in this time. There could be certain things like we're seeing here where it's like, I'm not going to give too much energy to it. But to me, this is a karmic card of change and shifting energy. It's like, all right, from the ashes of something, another thing is reborn. So especially the fact that this is in the shadows, I mean, whether it is that karmic energy we're seeing here, whether it is a cycle that's coming to a close, could definitely be the case. I feel like it's not the end of a story though, or it's like, no, there's more to come, which I think is a good thing. So we're just going to leave it at that, Leo. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.